Hi viewers, hope you are doing well. This is Amar Najam from Projectable Platform. I really welcome to you for a very new course that is a crash course of API development in NestJS along with TypeOrm and MongoDB. This is very demanding course nowadays. People are using this technology for their major projects, and nowadays jobs are very much available for this technology. Let me quickly introduce myself. I am Amar Najam. I'm a senior software developer, web application, full stack developer, working in the industry for the last 2 decades, more than 2 decades. I have got different roles, especially for the application development side, ERP development, CRM development, something like that, particularly in JavaScript technology. For the especially last 5 years, I've been engaged for the JavaScript based technology, likewise Angular, React, NestJS, Node.js, something like that. So this is my quick introduction. So let us go for the course outline. What will the course outline of this video? So let me cover up. The course structure would be, initially I will describe 3 different slides for 3 different things: NestJS, TypeOrm, MongoDB. What are these technologies and what are the benefits about that? Afterwards, I will go for project setup, installation of the prerequisites, and some libraries as well. Then we will go for the MongoDB setup. As you know that we will use MongoDB for this project. MongoDB setup, we will do complete setup, and then we will integrate this MongoDB with our application that we have developed in NestJS. Then afterwards, we will do some boilerplating. Boilerplating means the template-driven approach. I have prepared a very well-structured template. All you need to do, just copy it and design a new API by renaming it and then include in your main project. So afterwards, we will create a simple but a complete API in which we will cover the complete CRUD operation. That how to extract records from database, how to read it, how to create it, how to update it, and how to delete it. So this would be the course outline for this particular video. I will do another part of the series of this video in which I will cover the more complex versions of this similar API. Okay, so this is all about the course outline. So let's quickly move for the very first segment of this video, and this is the introduction of NestJS. Why NestJS important in the presence of Node.js and Express? You know, Node.js and Express is very hot in nowadays. Very big organization like PayPal, HBO, Netflix, Nike. These giants already adopted this technology for their main business operational purposes. Okay. So why we are waiting for that? We should adopt this technology. So that's why I have designed this code. Okay. So in NestJS, what NestJS providing extra in front of Node.js and Express? Let me define you very quickly. NestJS is a framework for building scalable and maintainable server-side application, especially for web APIs, using TypeScript, which is a superset of JavaScript. And it is built on top of that, it is built on Node.js and Express. This is a framework basically that is already designed for on Node.js and Express. Let me describe you very quickly why it is useful if Node.js and Express already present in the market and it is very popular. This framework provide the modularity of an organization of the code. This is the biggest feature of this framework. You can develop your code, you can organize your code, such as library. In library, what happened? You have to organize your all books topic wise and you can say the edition wise, whatever, and you make the index, all of these things. Similarly, in NestJS, you can go for the modularity of your organization, well-maintained architecture. In a well-maintained architecture, you can develop your APIs. So this is the main feature, basic feature, main feature, essential feature. And the second feature is TypeScript support. It is already developed in TypeScript, and the architecture is very similar as compared to the Angular. at the Angular, how we design. If somebody knows how to develop application in Angular, so he will be enjoy this video, because this is very much similar to Angular. Decorator based programming in Angular. Decorator based programming is doing what is decorator? Decorator, basically, let me define you very quickly, but once we go for the API development, definitely you will be well aware about this decorator. Decorator is nothing but only the identifier of the category of the class or variables. Okay, class and the variable. So what is the class? How we can categorize our parameters, our variables, and our classes by the help of the decorator. Is the identifier. Likewise, if suppose you must be aware, since I told you this is the crash course, you must be little bit aware about the APIs. In APIs, we have a controller where all the requests would be fallen in that particular class that is called controller. We have a service, that is the data layer. We have a model, or you can say the interface. This is the structure of MVC, right? This similarly, here we have controller, we have interface, or you can say entity. We have the services for the data layer where we implement our business logic. So in decorator, what we have to do, we have to mention the decorator with the keyword through the for the categorization of the class. I will describe you later on once we go into the code. Don't you worry about it. Just remember, this is the decorator based programming. Okay, dependency injection, a huge benefit, very, very huge benefit, because dependency injection is a very, very good pattern that is very, very hot nowadays. Either we use .NET, either we use NestJS, either we use you can say the Angular. In all these technologies, without dependency injection, you cannot survive. And I'm telling you, this is very, very good feature, very useful feature, and very hot features. And if you are not aware about the dependency injection, please do not hesitate. Please mention in the comment section. I will definitely help you out for this for dependency injection feature, and I will create separate video as well. Okay, middleware and interceptor. Interceptors are nothing but only about the, you can say, the filters. Before going for requests, if we have to do some validations or do some filters, we have to use interceptors. Again, interceptors are also useful, very, very useful for validate data, so that neat and clean data would be followed in our database. So the interceptor, you can say that these are the filters, and the same term is applying in Angular as well. By the way, I'm not using I will not cover Angular in this section. In upcoming sections, definitely I'll go for that. But for the sake of the, you can say, the reference, I'm describing each and everything. So let's quickly cover the API architecture. What is the API architecture? We have a main module in our API of NestJS that is called app module. And this is the startup module. You can say the bootstrap module, where the application is bootstrapping. And in this module, we have to register all packages as well as our custom design modules as well. So I will design two modules in this application. I will describe you the architecture of whatever we are going to design. But initially, this is the basic, you can say, that API architecture. Now let's talk about something about the ORM. What is the ORM, or what are the benefits of ORM? And what is the utilization of TypeOrm? Why it is useful? ORM is nothing but only our object relational mapping. It is the tool through that we can map our data that is coming from database and falling in that API. And this, through this technology, we can easily map. We don't need to write huge lines of code. Through that, we have to map an attribute that is coming from database to the model. We don't need to write. Believe me, it is doing automatically. Okay. So the main duty, the main responsibility of ORM is the mapping of the data, of the attribute data between databases and object-oriented programming language. You can define the models, represent your database tables and their relationships as well. The ORM automatically translates these models into SQL queries and send them to the database. You don't need to write huge number of queries. I'm telling you, I will prove my words. Trust me. I will show you the code and you will be amazed to see the very short code, very few lines of code you have to write. Believe me, as compared to other technologies. Okay. And now let's talk about TypeOrm. TypeOrm is a very popular, nowadays it is very popular, and it is an open source ORM and very, very useful. It is using especially for the TypeScript and JavaScript based applications. So specifically for JavaScript and TypeScript, I'm telling you. So this is the utilization. This is the benefit. I've already told you, and I will prove my words. Once I will write the code, then you will also be amazed that how short your code it will be. Trust me. Okay. So let's move on for the last slide, theoretical slide. You must be you should not bore anymore because I will go for the practical as well. So why MongoDB? MongoDB is a very, very popular NoSQL base that utilize a document-oriented data model instead of traditional relational database and tables and rows. It is stored data in flexible JSON-like documents. Okay, so it's a completely JSON base. It is also, you can say that JavaScript also there in this database. You will be amazed, and it is very, very fast. And telling you, much faster, very scalable, very you can say that extendable, flexible. So these are the very, you can say that these benefits are not small benefits. If you are going for enterprise based application and dynamic application where initially you are not aware about the scope and you don't know how much extendable it is. Now in this case MongoDB is very, very useful, I'm telling you. Okay, and even though I'm doing a huge project for my organization that is very dynamic project, and same thing is applying for my project as well, and I'm using it and I'm very, very satisfied. Okay, now the use cases where we can use this technology. Actually, we can use real-time application. Likewise, you can say that stock change. Likewise, money changing, where every now and then data is changing for news related agencies, something like that, where real-time data is required. Okay, so every now and then data is changing. In that particular case, it is very, very useful. Mobile and web-based application. If you can say that if you PayPal or Netflix using this technology, then there is some reason behind it. There's some rock solid reason behind that. That's why people are using this kind of technology, and we should learn this technology as well. CMS, where we have to store contents, our images, videos, documents. If YouTube and you can say that Netflix is using this technology, then you must be amazed that why these people are using this technology. There is a legitimate reason behind that. That's why these giants are using this technology. Okay, so this is all about the theory. You can say that the theoretical part has been completed successfully. Now I have to describe the project architecture that we are going to develop in this video segment. Okay, we will develop two modules, employee module and payroll module. Okay, in employee module, we have employee master, okay, where we will maintain the basic detail of employee, and then we will maintain that some other details like family details. We have to in HRMS system we have to maintain the complete family details as well. As far as history is concerned, we should also maintain the employment history of the employee, where in which department, which organization he has worked before this job. Okay, and employee education is also very much mandatory. Okay, so this is one module. That's why I have covered in one box. In another box, I have mentioned the payroll, where payroll is another module. So that I was thinking that design a little bit complex applications so that you can adopt the methodology how we have to design the complex APIs for our real world project. So I will design another module, that is payroll module. In this module, we will maintain the complete employee payroll. This is a very basic project, by the way, but thing is that I will cover the complete features that we have to do. And in upcoming days, we will in part 3, I will describe how to secure the project through JWT tokens and something like that, interceptors, how we can do our password maintenance and image uploading, something like that. Some advanced features I will also describe, but initially, in this video, I will create one module, employee module, in which I will cover only employee master, so that you can have idea. Basically, I will be more focused on the features and awareness of the Nest API, as well as utilization and as well as architecture. So if you are aware of all of these things, then that would on the rest of the topic would be the piece of cake. I'm telling you, trust me. So you have to do more practice. Let me define you the recipe of the adoption of this technology. You have to watch my videos at least 3 times. One time you have to follow exactly what I'm doing. Second time you have to follow and something like that. You can write your code by your own. And third time you completely skip my video and write your exact code. Don't do anything extra. Just write exact code, whatever I have told you. And once you design API without the help of my video, definitely you are ready to go for the mainstream. Okay. So wish you all the best. Now let's go for the practical side. Let me define you how to create. This is the theoretical part. All the slides has been covered. So this is the nodes. Okay. Initially, you must have Node.js. Okay. Node.js, this is as you know, Node.js is the platform where we have to execute our JavaScript code. Okay. So this is this is the platform here. So this is the link. Okay. Net is not working, but eventually, let me tell you one thing, that Node already installed in my PC. Okay. So this is if you have to, you can say that you have to pass this command, node space -- version. If you get this result through any numerical value, definitely it means Node.js already installed in your PC. Okay. Okay. So this is the mechanism. You have to go to this website, download it. Okay. Okay. I deliberately off my internet due to the notification, useless notification. Sometimes it comes from YouTube or something, some other website. That's why. Okay. Node.js. This is Node.js. Okay. You have to download this version. Let me download it very quickly. Okay. So here we go. Okay. Open it. Next, you have to press next button. Okay. Accept it. Next. So this is all about the installation part. Very easy and not so much time consuming. Okay. So it's done almost. Okay. So I have installed the latest, and by the way, you have to click on the current version, not LTS version. LTS, basically better to go for the current version. Okay. Okay. So it's almost done. Yeah. So now again. Yeah. Now 21, version number 21 has been installed successfully. Okay. So let's move on to the second installation. Here we have installed our Node.js. Okay. Other than that, this is the prerequisites. Okay. As you see that I'm using this software, which is the console, or you can say the terminal or DOS based software, whatever you want to say it. Basically, the name of this software is terminal. In Windows 11, it is already installed. Okay. By default, it is already installed. You don't need to install it. So by yourself, you just have to go to this, and here you have to type terminal. Here, this is the application, terminal. Fantastic application. you must use it. Okay, if you are a Windows 10 user, then you don't need to worry about it. You have to go to the store, okay, and then Microsoft Store, and then you have to type Windows Terminal, okay. Yeah. So here it is. This is already installed. That's why installed is mentioned over there. Otherwise, on first time, get button would be enabled, and you have to press that get button, and then one pop-up will be occur, and then you have to press install button. That's it. Okay, this is very easy installation. So afterwards, once you install terminal, then you have to go to the Visual Studio Code. This is the Visual Studio Code website, and by the way, I will provide these notes and slides, and the link would be available in the video description section. And if you want to know about me as well, if you want to see my profile, I will give you the LinkedIn profile as well, so that you can watch it. Okay. So now here it is. Okay. So this is the Windows. This is the Windows 11, Windows 10. You have to press this button, then system will download it, and then you can install it very easily. Very easy installation by pressing next, and you will have it. Okay. Afterwards, I have downloaded. This is optional. I have downloaded. Look, this editor is not the VS Code. This is Sublime. Okay, as you can see, this icon. This is the Sublime, and I have downloaded it because for the distinguish between code and notes and all these things, I have downloaded so that it would be easy for me. So you can download it optionally. It is useful. I'm telling you. It's better to download it and install it by click option, and then you can have it. Now afterwards, this is Mongo Compass. Mongo Compass is you can say that through this software, you can explore your database. Whatever data is present in your database, you can easily view your data through this. I'm going to look. This is Mongo Shell. You don't need to download it. This software. This is called MongoDB Compass Download GUI 14 version XZ download. Okay. So here it is. So now afterwards, once you go for the Compass, you have to download this software as well. This is very useful. This is HTTP. This software helps you to execute your APIs and view data in that particular software. So better to download this one as well. HTTP. So it is downloading. Let me see what is the status of Compass. Compass is downloading. In very few seconds, it would be complete. Okay, let's cover up the last things of the prerequisite installation. So this is now it's done. Compass is done. Let me install it very quickly. Open. Okay, HTTP also downloading. So now this is MongoDB Compass. Okay, so the installation has been started, and this is HTTP. Okay, so now let me close this thing. Started. Okay, by default it will come in this way, that it assumes that you have locally database available and you have to connect it. But we will use a database that is saved on the MongoDB cloud server. And by the way, MongoDB is providing you 500 MB database, which is absolutely free. Absolutely free. You don't need to pay a single pie for that. So we will use that database. Here we have to write the connection string. We have to mention the connection string of our database. Afterwards, once we have a connection string, we can press connect button, mark as a favorite, and then you are good to go to use your database. Okay. So here installation done for the MongoDB Compass. HTTP also done. So let me HTTP install it. I think HTTP I already installed it. Okay, you have to install very easily. So this is the HTTP. Let me close this one. Okay, here I will write a space cancel. Here, this is the collection. Okay. In collection, I will write employee. This is the collection, and here we have to write the URL of our API, and here we can see the result. Okay. HTTP already installed. How we can utilize it, I will describe you in this video later on. Okay. Let me quickly, now the last part of the prerequisites is the creation of the profile on MongoDB Compass. Okay. So here you can, I'm going to sign up with the Google. You can go for GitHub as well. Here dev.projectables. This is the projectable ID, and then continue. Through this thing, you can have I accept it, submit. Okay. Through this methodology, you can have 500 MB database absolutely free. Okay. So it is creating it, and now it's done. Yeah. So it will ask you some basic question. What is the goal? Learn MongoDB. You can say that. What is the year? I'm more than a year. Okay. Which language? I will select Node.js. Which kind of database? I will tell you others. Okay. What type of others? Leave it because this is optional. And then you can say that not sure because this is not necessary. Let us fill the form. Okay. Afterwards, here, this is the paid solution. We have to select, just remember one thing, we have to select only free solution. Okay. And right now, whatever they are giving by default, leave it as it is. Don't need to change anything. Just go for the create. Okay. This will create your database. Now it's done. Afterwards, this is the username, dev.projectables. Okay. And the password. I will change it, Amar. And password would be Pakistan 123. Don't worry, I will change this password later on. You don't need to use my database. You have to create your own. Okay. Pakistan 123, create it. Then copy it. Let me copy this thing. Pakistan 123 and username is Ahmad. Okay. And now create user. Afterwards, there is a database entry. Okay. There is a IP entry. What you have to do, you have to remove, you have to edit it, and you have to go 0.0.0.0, 4 times 0 and //0. It means you can access. It means you are mentioning it. I can access, or you can do cancel network. You go for the network access page. Okay. Here is the proper configuration. Close it. Delete it. Delete because it is mentioning the current. Add IP. In add IP, click allow access from anywhere. Better to choose this method so that it would be easy for you. So now it would be done. Okay. So here this is the segment where you can secure your application. But right now, since this is not a huge application for us, this is a simple application and we are doing for learning purpose. We don't need hi-fi security. That's why we are skipping it. Okay. Other than that, if you are doing some important project, you have to mention the API application address. Likewise, if your application resides on 192.168.1.16, so that means this is the IP address that should be allowed for this database. This is for the sake of security. And you have to mention that particular IP address of your application so that other than this IP, nobody can access your database as it would be safe and secure. That's it. This is the purpose of the mentioning IP. Since our data is not so much secure, less secure data, we don't need to hide anything. So we are not mentioning it. Okay. Now this is the database segment side. Okay. Go to the database. Here is you will find the connect button. Press it. After drivers, here, this is the connection string. You have to copy it and paste it. Okay. This is the connection string. And then here, you see, this is the password. It is not mentioned the password, real password. You have to pass it. Okay. And then mention it. Okay. So this is your connection string that requires to connect your database. Okay. Let me copy it and pass it to my compass. Look here. Okay. And then favorite, make it favorite. I'm writing my cloud, my dev cloud. Okay. You can name anything. Okay. I make it blue. That's it. Save and connect. Okay. Okay. So you have a default. By default, it is giving you two databases, local and admin. Now what we have to do, we have to create our own database, that is employee management. And here connection name would be employees. Okay. Give it to that. Okay. Now here you can see this is the database which is empty, and this is the database name that is called employee management. Employee management. And this is the you can say the table name, or you can say the connection data document name is employee. Okay. So we have configured successfully. We had done each and everything as far as prerequisites of installation of softwares is concerned. Okay. Till now we had done so much successfully, each and everything. Now let's go for the, you can say, the installation of the NestJS and the creation of the project. Okay. This is very easy and simple. You don't need to worry about it. Through this command, you have to copy this command. By the way, notes would be available in the video section. You can have it. Okay. npm I for installation, G for global, so that globally it would be available. Okay. So I will paste it. So here NestJS CLI. CLI stands for command line interface. Through that you can use the command line tools and you can pass the commands to the NestJS. So CLI, we are installing CLI, and then we can afterwards we can start development. Okay. So installation part would be done. This is the, I believe this is the last part of installation. NestJS is completed. We have to install packages for TypeOrm, packages for MongoDB. And before doing this, we have to create our project. Okay. So first of all, we have to confirm whether NestJS is installed successfully or not. We have to pass nest, N-E-S-T, nest. Let me tell you very clearly, the language name is Nest, not Next. N-E-X-T, Next.js is the React framework for the user interface designing. This is NestJS for API development. Okay. So Nest version. Look, here it is. Nest is not recognized. What you have to do for Windows, sometimes it happens. You have to what you have to do, you have to restart your PC so that you can start it. Okay. I'm going to restart my PC. Wait for a while. For user, welcome back. Last time we are going to check whether NestJS installed successfully or not. I restart my PC and then I have passed this command nest version. Okay. Since you are using terminal software, it happens once you install any JavaScript package, there's a file having extension PS1 created, and it is blocked by this terminal software, and it is giving you error. So this is a one-time job. What you have to do, you have to pass this command del. Okay. And copy this path. I copy it and paste it. Remember, PS1 is the extension. Okay. It happens when Node.js also installed. It happens. It happens when you go for the checking the version. It will show you this error. So don't you worry about it. Simply copy the path and then paste it and then press. That's it. So again we have to pass this command nest dash dash version. Here it is. We have got the version number. It means it is installed successfully. So nest installed successfully. All the prerequisites installed successfully. Now we have to do, we have to create our very first project. Okay. So it is mentioned over there. There I have mentioned in the notes actually. Sorry, PS extension. You have to remember this thing that PS1 extension file must be deleted by del command. Likewise, I mentioned del and then space, and then I have to copy the complete path. Okay, C : user emmer.local app data roaming npm, whatever path it is giving, just copy it and paste it, and then it's done. Okay, this is a one-time job. Control L for clearing the screen, and now I'm going to, let me go to the project directory first. My project directory is C classroom, D classroom and nest. Yes, this is my directory. Here I have typed the boiler code and document site. Here in this directory I will create my project. Okay, employee system dash API. Okay, right click. Sometimes open terminal not coming, so what you have to do, you have to again right click and then it is. Now you can see I am in C classroom NestJS folder. So I have to type this command nest new. Here I have mentioned, by the way, this is the PS file. Okay, PS file. I'm sorry, I forgot. This is the PS file deletion technique, so that error should be removed. And then nest version, it must show the version number. Now let's go for the project creation. Okay, we are very near to success. Don't worry about this. I know this video so a little bit longer, but rest of the videos would not be. Okay, so now what we have to do, we will use nest new and then project name. I'm going to describe the project name as employee dash management dash API. Okay, or you can say that employee system dash employee dash system dash API. This is the technique. You have to pass all the words in small letters, regardless, and you have to use hyphen for in replace of space. Okay, so I am copying it, nest new, and then so here I have to. It is asking which package manager you want to use. Let's use npm. Enter, and now it is creating it. So, okay. Afterwards, let me describe you quickly. Once it is created, we'll move later on. So we have to use command npm I install. The package name is NestJS /TypeOrm. This is the first package. Second package is TypeOrm, and third package is MongoDB. These three packages required. Only these three packages are required in project, not globally. You don't need to install globally. Before that, we install globally for NestJS CLI, so that we can create projects. We don't need to install again and again. Here, these three packages we have to use specifically for this project. So for this project, we have to be in this folder, and then we can go for it. Okay. And by the way, it will be execute or by default on 3000 port. And this is the command npm run start :dev. Through this command, you can start your project. Okay. So this is the technique. Let us. Okay. It is taking time. And afterwards, let me describe you very quickly. I have described architecture of TypeOrm NestJS. Okay, in app.module we have to copy these lines and paste it so that we can register TypeOrm module in our project. Okay, what we have to do here, we have to pass connection string over there. As I told you, This is the connection string I have created. The same connection string I have to paste it over here so that it would be connected to our database that we have mentioned it. Okay. So that's how we have to mention it. Now, let me check. Yeah, it's done. We have to, it is telling you this command. Okay. Paste. So we are in this folder, and let me write it very quickly. npm run start :dev. Okay. So our very first project is going to be started. Once you find this thing in green, Nest application successfully started, it means you are good to go. Okay. And by default, the port number would be 3000. Okay. Let me copy this port and paste it in my browser. Hello world. Oh my God. This is the thing. So we have created our very first app. We have installed our packages. We are good to go to design our very first API. Congratulations, my dear. Okay. So now what I have to do, simply make a right click, duplicate tab. I'm in the NestJS. ls for directory. I have to go to the employee folder. Employee system API. Okay. Code space dot. This is the command through that we can open our VS Code editor. Okay. Enter it. Here we go. Sometimes it happens that it will show you, do you trust? Yes, of course I trust. There is a checkbox and there is a yes, I trust button. You have to mark it checked and then press the button. Yes, that's it. Let me zoom in. Okay, I think it's enough. Yeah. So let me describe you very quickly what is the folder architecture. This is a dist. Dist means once you go for the, you can say that deployment side, you have to use this folder. Node modules contains the all modules and packages that we have installed that is very much necessary to execute this application. And this is the test. This is for testing. It is not so much necessary, but source folder is very, very important. As I told you, there's a app.module .ts file would be there. This is the app module. This is basically the starting module. And we have by default, it is providing you the app controller where they have written the app service function. Okay. They have called how it is working. Let me describe you very quickly. We have spec folder, spec controller. We don't need it. Okay. We can delete this file. Okay. Move to this restaurant. Once we go for the development of API, we have to design 3 files. Number 1 is entity. Number 2 is controller. Number 3 is service. So this is the by default. NestJS is providing the app.service.ts where service has been designed. You can see the hello world, because once we go to the local host 3000 and then it is showing us hello world. So through this function, we are having the hello world message. Okay. This is the function. And this is injectable at the rate. This at the rate, let me describe you initially in the starting of the project. I have described that there is a decorator based programming. So what is decorator? Decorator is the identifier. Through that we can identify the category of the class or the category of the variables, something like that. Okay. So this is the class, although it is a class, but we don't know what type of class it is. Through this decorator, you can see that injectable decorator. Injectable means this is injectable and it will act as a service. For service, we are using injectable decorator that is coming from the NestJS common package. Okay. Through this thing, we can inject our service as a dependency injection. So this is the dependency injection architecture. Okay. That could be injected in anywhere. So in controller, we have injected. Look, in constructor, we have injected our app service. This is through this way, we can inject it. We can use dependency injection. Okay. So we have created a variable, an object that is called app service, that is written in the camel case. But in class, for class, we are using Pascal. Okay, Pascal naming convention contains capital letter for the first word. Rest of the word would be started capital. But in the camel case, we start small letter for the first character of the word. Okay, rest of the things would be written in the starting would be capital letter. Okay, so this is the thing that that I'm going to describe you. This is the architecture. And by the way, initially I told you there is a well-defined architecture available in NestJS. That's why it is important. That is the difference. That makes a difference between the Node and Express plain API and the well-defined structured API that is available in NestJS. Okay, so this is the technique. This is app module, and what we have to do in an app module, we have to register our TypeOrm module. Okay, so I'm going to first import TypeOrm. So it is not importing. Okay, let me write it. Yeah, TypeOrm module, it is showing. Okay, NestJS TypeOrm. Since I didn't use it, that's why it is showing me some error. I didn't use it till now. So let me quickly, here it is, copy this. Here it is. Now we have registered successfully TypeOrm package. Okay. 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 Now let us check. Welcome back, user. Actually, thing is that I've got the reason. Basically, I didn't install 3 packages that I have to install it. I forgot it. That's why it is showing me the error. So I'm copying it and then I paste it. Okay. So these are the 3 packages that needs to be installed before going for configuration of MongoDB connection string. So let me install it very quickly. Afterwards, we can easily configure our database and we can create our APIs. It is not so much big deal for us right now because our big things has been done. I have communicated you what is the structure, what are the benefits, and how we can create our a profile, our account for the MongoDB, how to install the prerequisite software, each and everything. This is a time-taking job. Now we are ready. We are good to go for the app designing of the APIs. Okay. Once it's done, our next segment would be the complex API development. Okay. So now installation, it's almost done. Okay. Yeah. Waiting for that. Yeah. All the 3 packages has been installed. Now error has been gone. Okay. Now the last thing is, okay. One thing I also wanted to mention you that this is the employee system. Employee system is the name of the database. We have to mention it before question mark. This is the significance. Before question mark and after the /, we have to mention the database name. Okay. Let me zoom in. This is the methodology. I have to copy this thing and then paste it over here. Okay, done. It's done. Now, this is the technique through that you can register your TypeOrm module along with the connection string of the MongoDB. Okay, so that's how we have to mention it. And oh yes, now it's done. You can see that if it is showing you that application running successfully, it means it's done. We are good to go. Otherwise, it will show you the error that there is something wrong, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So till now, we are going on the right direction and we have we had done each and everything. Likewise, we have installed MongoDB, we have installed each and everything. Now, what we have to do, we have to go for the second last segment of this video. Okay. And what is that? This is, now we are going for segment number 4, that is the boilerplating. And this is very useful, very easy, and it's not a time-taking job. Okay. So now in Classroom, NestJS, this is the boilerplate. Okay. Boilerplate. What is the meaning of boilerplate? Boilerplate is nothing but only a template, and this will help you to reduce your time and effort. And this is the predefined template that I have designed for you. You can copy it and paste it in your in the similar fashion that I have done, and then you can just rename it and then good to go. Okay. So I have designed the very first module, that is the employee module. Okay. So let me show you how it looks like. Okay. So in the folder boilerplate, let me drag it. Okay. So this is the module. Okay. Let me define you how it is working. Look, I have imported the module class from the package NestJS common, and secondly, I have imported TypeOrm module as well from NestJS import TypeOrm. Okay, these two packages are required. Afterwards, I have mentioned that decorator. Again, decorator starts from @ and this is showing you, although it is a class. Look, this is a class that is called employees module, but through this decorator, system can identify what type of class it is, and it is module. It's the class. The category of this class is module. So this is the class, and module, by the way, is the combination of different APIs. Likewise, I have shown in my architecture. Look, I have two modules. I will employee module and payroll module. So this is the combination. Employee module is the combination of 4 different APIs: employee master, employee family, employee history, employee education. Whereas employee payroll module will consist only one API, that is called payroll, employee payroll. Okay. So this is the architecture. Similar way, we have to register all the entities over here. This is the registration part of the entities. Okay. And this is the controller part, and this is the provider. In provider section, we have to mention all services that would be the part of our module. So what I'm going to do is I will copy, since I've already designed it for you. So I will make a copy. Initially, go to the folder. This is the API folder, SRC folder. In SRC folder, I have to paste it. Now, employee modules would be available. You can see that. This is the employee module. Okay. In employee module, we have an employee controller, employee entity, employee service. Okay. These 3 files needs to be required for the development of API. I have defined the functions and each and everything for you. You have to just copy paste, and you have to register this employee module in your app module, because app module is the main module. Okay. So here I will import in import array. In import array, I will import the employee module. Look, VS Code has a great intelligence. Look, now I have imported it, and it is also import here as well. So this is the way for the registration of your custom made module. Let me define you. Look, here I talked about the app module will consist 2 things. Number 1, packages, and number 2 is modules, custom modules. So what we did, we have registered the package TypeOrm module, and this one is our own modules. Okay. So this contains the app controller and app service. I will not define any other services and controller. I will define my own controller in my own custom made module. So this is the methodology. Okay. So this would be not so much, you can say that beauty, and the code should be neat and clean. And this is the beauty of the NestJS, that we can maintain well-defined architecture, neat and clean coding structure in our project. Okay, so this is the way we have already. Now what I have to do, I have make a connection between employee module and app module. Now I have to register controller, entity and service in my own module. Okay, so I have one entity. This is employee entity. I will describe you later on after registration. What is that? What is the code? What code is all about? I will describe you. But first, what I will do, this is the called employee and this is the entity. And let me register it first in my employees module. So here I have to employee. Look, here it is showing me this employee.entity. So here I have registered my first entity. Now in controller, I will register my employee controller. Afterwards, in provider, I will register my employee service. Okay, so that's how you have registered your register your module in your app module. This is the main module, and then you register your controllers, services, and entities in your own custom-made module. Okay, so this is all about the custom-made module. Now this chapter has been closed. Let's quickly move on for the entity. This is the entity. Okay, now let me describe you what is entity. Entity is nothing but only you can say the interface, or you can say that this is the model. In terms of MVC architecture, we have to design interface or model. Similarly, in TypeOrm, we have to design entity. Name is different, but functionality is same. So we have imported entity from TypeOrm, column from TypeOrm, object ID and object ID column. Okay. Now again, we have one decorator that is describing us that this class pertains to the entity. Okay. This is entity class. Okay. And now this is very important. Employees. This is the employee. You can see that employees is the similar thing that we have employees in employee system. Okay. In employee system, we have a one document. Documents is called employee. Okay. Collection. This is the collection of documents. Okay. So now we have described that this table should, there's a link between the entity and this table. This is the link. Okay. So system can identify, system will find employees table or employees collection in the database. Okay. So this is clear. Now, this is again, we have another decorator that is called object ID column. Means that once we go for the creating records in MongoDB almost or MongoDB in every case, it is defining a primary key, and the name of the column would be underscored ID. The same ID has to be there in your entity, and we have described it. The type of would be object ID. This is the type of the ID, and this is identification. Okay, decorator. Again, the second one is the column. Means to say that this is the normal column. This is not the special kind of column. This is normal column. We have described it as a column with the column decorator, and we have used the camel case naming convention for our attributes, and this is employee name, and the type would be string. Similarly, we have employee code and employee email. Okay, so these are the four attributes of our entity. So this is all about entity, where we have to mention the architecture of, you can say, the structure of the entity, and this structure should be similar with the database one. Okay, and by the way, we don't need to create table. It is all we don't need to create any data type. Likewise, using in SQL Server, and we have to create table first and describe the data types and all. We don't need to do so. MongoDB is very, very efficient enough. It will maintain itself. You don't need to mention it. Just you have to create it, or otherwise you didn't create it. It will create. By the way, it is so much efficient that it will create by itself. Okay. So now afterwards, we'll go for the service. Now service. In service, since I told you service is injectable, we have to inject this service in different classes. Likewise, controller or any other service. So we have to mention injectable. Injectable means this is a service and this is injectable decorator, and through that we can do dependency injection. We can implement dependency injection pattern as well. Okay, so again it is a class, but through this injectable decorator, system will identify that this is a service class. Okay, so we have mentioned the name employee service. Again it is a class, so we have used Pascal naming convention. Okay, now this is the constructor. In constructor, we have another decorator that is called inject repository. Now what is repository? Repository is nothing but only our entity that we have just defined. This is the entity. Okay, so in this repository we have to mention the first of all, before defining the repository, we have to mention the type through this decorator. Okay, now this is pertaining to the employee entity. Okay, as you can see, this is the link, this is the employee entity, and this is the similar way we have to inject it. Okay, afterwards we have to mention a variable with this pattern, likewise employee repo. This is short form repository. Rather than to give long name, we have given a shorter name that is called employee repo. And again, it is the Mongo repository. So we have mentioned Mongo repository, and that is coming from TypeOrm. And we have to mention the type as well. What is the type? It is the type of employee. So this is the decorator of this repository, and this is the pattern. This is the way of declaration of your repository. This repository will do magic for you. I'm telling you. Through single line of code, you can have huge data. Likewise, I have designed a function. This is the get all function. You will have the all records from employee through this line. Okay, means to say that this is I have used this keyword, and you must be aware about this keyword, because since this is the crash course and this is not a beginner course, I'm expecting you are well aware about the you can say the features of the JavaScript. So this is this keyword, and then employee repository, and then we have a huge list of functions. Look, this is the function find by one, find and update, and all these things. We will use find function, and this will give you the complete records of the employee repository. Okay, now, and this is the async function, and we have to use await in here. Okay, so it will give you the promise. Okay, again we have designed another function that is that this will give you, by the way, you can see the data type, and here it will giving us a promise employee list. It will give you a promise, and data type would be employee list. Here we have designed another function, get data by ID. By providing MongoDB ID, primary key of the data of the table, we can have the single record. Okay, so find one. We in this function we used find one function. Find one return will only one record. Okay, so here the difference between find and find one. In find we have a list, and in find one it is giving us a promise, and data type would be single JSON object. But here for this is the very, you can say that I spent so much time to do this. You have to mention it. Okay, here for capturing MongoDB ID based record, you have to mention in this way ID. This is the ID that is coming from the parameter, and this is the ID of the database, and this is ID from parameter, and we have to convert it. You can say this is the typecasting. We have to convert it in the object ID, and object ID is this ID. You can say that this is a type that we have mentioned in our entity, and it is coming from an object ID is coming from MongoDB. Similarly, the same way here. Okay, so it is already there. So this is the MongoDB. No, we don't need to use TypeOrm by mistake. Sorry, I'm really sorry. We have to use, there's a two object ID, one from TypeOrm and one from MongoDB. We have to use MongoDB. Okay, so here it is, object ID. And we have to use new keyword as well. Okay, so that's how we have to once we go for filtration through the one single ID, we have to use this method. Okay, I'm sorry, this is a little bit complicated, but I cannot do anything since this is the architecture of third party, that is MongoDB and TypeOrm. Okay, so now afterwards I have designed another function that is called save data. In save data, I had done a smart job. Likewise, through one single function, I am doing two jobs. One for the saving data as a insertion. Likewise, if you want to insert a new data, so we have to use the same function. And if you want to update the existing data, similarly, in similar fashion, we can do so. So user don't have to worry about this. So we can save one endpoint in this way, and we can do smartly. Okay. So let me describe you. Like this is async function, save data, body. Body is the parameter name, and the type would be employee. Now it will check whether it has ID or not. Look, ID is coming from database, MongoDB. MongoDB is creating ID by itself. Once we go for insertion of any record, MongoDB assign it. So if we are going for insertion of new record, we don't have ID at that moment. So it means this is the new record. So we have captured this logic in our program. So we have given the logic, if body contains ID, it means it is the existing record and we have to update it. So if body has ID, we will go for updation for this thing. Likewise, we have to use update function. We have to give body ID in the first parameter, and in second parameter, we have to give body the complete JSON object. While if we go for the insertion of new record, we don't have body, we don't have any ID. So what we have to do, we have to use save function, and then we have to give the complete object. This is the difference. Okay. So I'm sure I have described you very well. If you have any doubt, please do not hesitate to send me a message. I will definitely help you out to describe you each and everything. Okay. So use this thing and then you can have it. So that's all about the service. Now let's go for the last file, that is controller, employee controller. Okay. In employee controller, again, we have a class, employee controller class, and we have a decorator of controller that is identifying you that this is the controller based class. Means to say this is the category of this class would be controller, and we have imported service, employee service, body, controller, get, post, param from nest package, nest common package, and employee entity from entity. Okay. Afterwards, in constructor, this is the beauty of the dependency injection. We don't need to create new instance of the service. We have imported it from the dependency injection, and we have created our service object, and we are using the instance of the same service. So this is the dependency injection pattern. We didn't initiate the new service class. We just use the same one through the dependency injection. Okay. In dependency injection, we now in controller, we have a get function, and with that get decorator. In decorator, we have defined this is the type, this is the decorator of the get function. Means to say the get type. As you are aware about this, we have four main types of the request, of API request: get, post for new, for new insertion of record, put for updating record, and delete for delete record, and get for get record. Okay, these are the four main types, request type for the web APIs. So here we are mentioning it that this is the get API, and the name would be get all. So this is the route name that has to be used in the URL once we go for the utilization of API. Okay, we will use it in HTTP. Once I describe all these things, we will go for implementation. Okay, so the same name we have used, same async keyword, and then we use the service function that we have described. We have just described get all data, in which we use find function. Okay, so this is the controller get all data. Similarly, we have get ID, get data by ID. Get data by ID in this way, we have to mention that in the route section that we have to use ID. We have to mention colon and then ID. So this is the route. Okay, get route, and then system type NestJS TypeOrm pick this ID from this thing from here and give it the name ID and assign it to this parameter ID. And this parameter will pass this parameter to the service function get data by ID. So it will return you a promise of one single object. Okay. So this is get data by ID. And last function would be post data. Means today save data. Okay. Employee. Here we are using body decorator. So a system will capture data from body and assign it to the body parameter, and the type of the body parameter would be employee, and then pass it to the save data service. So you see, this is the beautiful architecture, well managed, neat and clean code, and the you can say that the very well structured code we are using, and this is the beauty of NestJS, which makes the difference between Node.js Express API and NestJS API. I'm sure you like this and you understand it. But let me tell you the recipe to grab the knowledge is you have to practice it a lot, at least 3 times, so that you would be master. I'm sure you would be master. You would be confident enough that you must be confident enough after doing 2 or 3 times, so that you can grab the knowledge. Okay. So now we had done coding part is done, and let's see. Now you can see. Let me show you that it is registered in the web server. You can see employee get data, get by ID, save data, successfully registered, and there's no error. It means we are good to go for implementation, and you can use it. Now your first API has been developed successfully. Our segment 4 has been completed. Look, segment 4 has been completed, even though segment 5 also completed. Now we just need to test API, pass some data, get some data. That's it. Other than that, your very first project has been done. Congratulations. Okay. Let me do it very quickly. Now here, this is the first request. Okay. Now here I will type the HTTP localhost 3000. Okay. Afterwards, what I have to type, let me tell you from where. This is the controller name. You have to type controller name. Employee. Spell should not be mistaken. I'm copy, paste it. And then this is the route. Get all data. Okay. It should return an empty array. Look, fantastic. It is returning empty array. Okay. Now our very first API is up and running. Thank you. It is running. Congratulations, my dear. So a long video. It becomes a long video, more than 1 hour. Okay, but it is very interesting. I'm telling you, it will be very, very helpful for you. So I'm renaming it for my identification. Look, right click on the 3 dots, rename. Get all employees. Here it is. Now let me copy it, duplicate. Here's the copy, and then rename it. Save employee. Okay, save it. Let me change the type to post. Here's the body and here's the text. Now you have to pass JSON object. Okay, initially we don't have any, as I told you, we don't need to pass any ID for the insertion purpose. If you pass ID, system will assume that you are going to update the record. It will not insert it. So better to give data without ID. Okay. Now in entity, we have employee name. Amr Najam. Okay. Second one is employee code. emp-001, and third name would be email. amr.najam@gmail.com. Yes. Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. Let's go for that. This is get all data. Sorry. I'm a little bit enthusiastic. Post data. Let me see. Save data. You have to mention. Look, now you understand that what is the meaning of these things. This is the route. This is the API name. This is called API name, and this is called function name. We have three functions: get all data, get data by ID, and save data. Okay. Now let's save the data. Here we go. Congratulations, my dear. We have got the ID. Very first record has been inserted. Let us check in our database. Here's the employee system. Here's the day. Now let us refresh. This is the refresh button. And this is also refresh. Very first record has been inserted in our database. Congratulations. I'm really happy. What is your experience? Please share it with me. Your feedback is very much necessary for me. This would be a toxic. This would be a tonic for me. Sorry, I'm a little bit excited. Okay, so very first API is running. Let me insert one other code. Rehan Khan 02 Rehan.Khan. By the way, Rehan is not my friend. Okay. Number 3, Fahad. Fahad is my friend. He must be watching it. Fahad. Okay. Now we have 3 employees. Okay. Let us execute our first API, that is get all data. Here we go. Our first API is also running. It means our code is running up and running without any error, without any glitches. And thank you very much. Thanks God that it's been running fantastically. Okay. Now the last one is get data by ID. Duplicate. Here, rename it. First select this one and rename it. Get data, get employee by ID. Okay. So here, we have to copy this thing. Get data by ID. Here, and then let me copy this code. This is the code belongs to me, my profile, and then there's something wrong, my dear. This is get. Okay, it's running, but it didn't return the code. Okay, fine, no problem. Let us check. Get data by ID. Let me console it. CLG result. Okay. This is the console. Up and running. Now it means it is not returning any value. Okay. Let me check it very carefully. Give me a minute. Yes, my dear. I've got the reason. Okay. My mistake is this, that I have written this ID. I didn't include underscore. Basically, underscore is the part of that. So let me show you. Look, this is the ID. Actually, this is the ID, and this which contains underscore. I forgot to include underscore. Okay. So every primary key, every ID contains underscore ID. So this is the thing. That's why I could not get the data. So now let me execute it again. Here I have mentioned it. Look, data is coming. Now our all functions are up and running, and that's good. Good to go. And thank you very much. And that's all for now. I hope you enjoy this video. I'm very much hopeful that you will practice it. And if you have any query, please do not hesitate to send a message to me. I will definitely reply you. I will definitely help you. So let's meet in the next video. Till then, take a very good care of yours and keep in touch with me. Bye-bye.